Path of Titans is bringing a whole load of content to the game in the future, with dinosaurs being some of the most hotly anticipated content to come to the game. But what about the other stuff that's coming to the game? Well, I've compiled the top 5 of what I think out of the core features to come to the game that aren't dinosaurs that we should be excited for. But before I get into this video, what is your top 5 list? What are the 5 things that you cannot wait to come to the game officially? Let me know in the comments, but let's get right to it. The introduction of new game modes is something that I'm actually very excited for because I really like what these game modes aim to bring to the game, but I'm very curious because this is number 5, mainly because I don't know how many people are excited for new game modes. So if you're watching this, are you excited for the new game modes? Let me know in the comments and let me know which game mode you're most excited for. But this expands the game from a survival game into a survival game and a battle arena game. And that is pretty much coming from the stretch goals for Path of Titans from the crowdfunding campaigns for the game. Several pieces of content are coming with new game modes. That includes maps and multiple game modes as well. Of course, we are due to get these game modes. Territories, which is a penalty-free King of the Hill style game mode, capturing territories to win prizes. Then you have Capture the Egg, which of course is a Capture the Flag style game mode. Deathmatch, which is essentially a deathmatch or free-for-all. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be a team deathmatch or a free-for-all event, but that being said, it will have its own official deathmatch server, kind of like the deathmatch servers that you can play on the community side of the game with the small 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer maps. Then you have the one I'm most excited for, Last Herbivore Standing. This is pretty much like Infection. Herbivores have to survive against a carnivore that's aim is to kill them, and when you die as a herbivore, you join the carnivore team to kill all the other herbivores. Last Herbivore Standing is the winner. What a surprise, but I really like that style of game mode. Infection game modes are always the best. That being said, I also mentioned maps, and there is a reason for that, and essentially the deathmatch game mode will come with its own map, and that was mentioned in the stretch goal campaign. That being said, this also opens the door for modders to mod in their own modded game mode maps. Imagine a Capture the Flag style game mode modded map, or a Last Herbivore Standing style modded map that's like spooky, like a graveyard or something like that. That'd be really cool. And that being said, this was further enhanced by the fact that modders can mod in their own game modes as well. So you could see some cool, random, fun event game modes being modded into Path of Titans by modders, and this is probably going to be starting once the devs release the first game mode, which is the deathmatch game mode, which I believe can also be a team deathmatch or a free-for-all game mode with up to 4 different teams, which is pretty cool. Let me know what you think about game modes in the comments, and of course, which one are you most excited for? Pounce and Grab is 4th, mainly because this is one that is literally on the horizon. We got to test it recently, and if you want to check out information regarding that, check out this video where I talked about and gave the full overview of testing Pounce, or check out this live stream. And the warning for the live stream is the Pounce content pretty much starts halfway through the live stream because we have to wait a little while to be grown. That being said, this is probably one of the hotly anticipated content updates, one of the most hyped content updates, Pounce and Grab. It was recently tested and will be one of the hallmark updates that I think will come this year. My prediction is it will come this year. Pounce and Grab introduces 2 mechanics to the game. The pouncing, which is done by the raptors Deinonychus and Latanovenatrix, and the grab, which is done by Sarcosuchus. This introduces several abilities: Pounce, Sarcosuchus's grab attack, and a hide that prohibits dinosaurs to grab you, grapple you, or pounce on you or latch onto you, which is pretty neat. Easily one of the most exciting content drops to be coming to the game in the near future, and I'm very excited for this one. So let me know, are you excited for Pounce, and when do you think Pounce will release into the game? I'd love to know. This was announced to be something that the developers are planning on adding this year, or starting to be adding this year, because this was something that they talked about in their 2023 What's to Come dev blog that was released last Christmas. And you know what? I really hope they release another one of them on Christmas this year. You know, it just means that I can get up from unboxing presents and then come upstairs and be like, yo guys, there's Path of Titans presents. With that being said, this is probably going to be the one that changes the gameplay loop and the fundamentals of the game. This was announced, of course, as I mentioned last year, and it was in a big dev blog that basically said that they're going to plan on improving quests and then saying this. This means adding completely new quest types, more goals and achievements, unlockable features, and ultimately pushing the gameplay loop into a robust and open-ended growth and leveling system. We will also better reward players for simply exploring the world, rewarding growth and marks for discovering rare items and locations. Our goal is to jam-pack areas with hundreds of things to do and new things to discover, and to ensure players never feel as though they aren't progressing towards larger goals. This means you can expect this: new achievements, more goals, an open-ended leveling system, and new things to discover with rare items and potentially new locations as well. That being said, it's ultimately expanding the gameplay loop of the game and hopefully making questing and growing in the game more enjoyable and more fun, which is what this game desperately needs. That's why that has made it third place on this list, because this is a game-changing feature that is going to be very, very important. Aside from the introduction of Pounce and Grab, I think these next two content drops are some of the most important ones. And this feature, AI Dinosaurs, might be one of the most popular ones. AI Dinosaurs is planned for the game. It's been planned for a long time, since the game went into its early development cycle. This is evidently shown by a demo that was released long ago, before I even started covering this game. I think it was like a year or two before I started covering the game, maybe a year, but it was the AI demo. And this was a demo where you could load into the game and watch AI as they explored the world and just interacted with each other, hunted each other, sat down, slept, drank water, ate food, and all that jazz. That was really cool to see, especially when you look back at videos of it as well. The developers also talked about openly AI. They talk about it quite a bit, but they mentioned that it's going to kind of work hand in hand with questing and nesting in some sense, in a way where quest system could intertwine with the AI in the game. Perhaps there'd be a quest giver, or there would be some other stuff like that for the game, which is quite pivotal, making AI pivotal to the game's progress, the quest revamp, and other features that are planned to come to the game. With AI Dinosaurs, this introduces that and adds them to the whole world of players as well, further enhancing and populating the world. Even if players are just spending their time in just one area of the map, you'll always be sure to have AI in the other area of the map that's a little bit empty, ready to be interacted with. AI Dinosaurs, although we don't know when they are coming to the game, is one of those features that will definitely come to the game, but we don't know when. When do you guys think AI will come? Let me know. Now, I'll be honest here, I think this one, number one, is probably one of the most hotly anticipated features. I said that for nesting. Nesting's now. I said that for nesting. I said that for AI Dinosaurs, quest revamps, and I even said that to Pounce and Grab. So essentially everything is the most hotly anticipated content to come to the game. But no, I think nesting is number one on this list. It is number one. But I think it's number one in the sense that this is the most hotly anticipated feature to be coming to the game, and is one of the ones that I think is the most requested. I think if you go on the suggestion page for Path of Titans, you can see that a lot of people suggest nesting. That being said, this introduces a lot to the game. Getting a mate, building a nest, laying eggs, protecting the nest, raising hatchlings, and of course, bringing them into the world, tying into the quest system, and probably even AI in this game as well. This is going to be interesting, because the hatchlings will be players, and they will be hatchlings rather than juveniles, so you get a whole new growth stage as well. Introduction of a whole new game mechanic and loop to the game, which is something that Path of Titans doesn't have, especially when compared to other dinosaur games in the top 3. The Isle and Beast of Bermuda, they all have nesting and they do it really well. So it's interesting to see how Path of Titans will intertwine nesting to the core gameplay loop that it holds true to itself. This is something we don't know too much about. However, I have made some videos where I kind of went over what we know so far, so if you want to check them out, I definitely recommend you do that. But that is nesting, and that is the final piece of content on my top 5 list of hotly anticipated stuff to come to the game. I'd really like to know, however, what out of all of this is the stuff that you really want to see in the game. Like, what out of nesting or what out of like all this stuff that I've mentioned are you excited for the most? But ultimately, the one thing I want to know is your top 5 different? Excluding dinosaurs, if you don't mention dinosaurs, what is your top 5 content that you know is coming to the game that you can't wait for to come to the game? And maybe what is your wish list as well? I'd love to know that too. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. I love talking about this stuff because it's really exciting. And I can't wait to see more news regarding all this when it eventually does happen. Anyways, of course, if you are new, feel free to subscribe because when this gets released and this news gets released, I'll be one of the first to break it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.